Hey everyone, today we are going to talk supplements. Oh boy, there's a lot to go through. A lot of you asked questions, recommended some of these and had concerns about some of these. So I'm gonna actually go very quickly. And I just want to discuss three things that we need to know first. Number one, supplements do not replace a good diet. So you can take apple cider vinegar and go to Carl's Jr. and, might have a little benefit, but it's counterproductive. Supplementation is supplementing a diet that might be lacking of certain things. So you have to focus on lifestyle, eating good. It's not the miracle cure. That's number one. Number two is you can get into extremes. Like I've got to take all of this every day, and that can be challenging for a couple reasons. Number one, financially, and I'm going to explain what I do in a minute. What I do is just to tell you now, I break it up, and I might have, every other day, or some things every 2 or 3 days. And so it really, a 1 month supply lasts 3 months. It's really the only way to do it with supplementation. And also you have to remember extremes. If you're drinking a lot of this, pH balance and all that, and taking in a lot of apple cider vinegar, and then you're taking a lot of greens, and you're taking in a lot of this other stuff, and your digestive system is very, the right word here I'm looking for, very, not complicated, even though it is. There's a fine tuning of microbiome, and so if I'm taking all these stuff that I don't even normally eat, for 3 different types of mushrooms and this, this and that, and things I normally wouldn't take, it can really upset gut microbiome. However, and they're finding there's a lot of positive things about gut microbiome. It's a bacteria that lives in the gut. There's lots of different kinds, and it seems to be a variety of healthy gut bacteria leads to health and longevity. And I'm not a person that's necessarily focused on longevity. Let's see what else is back here. I'm focused on productivity during my longevity pursuit. So, sorry, the wind's blowing a little bit. And also, you've got to have a balanced program. A lot of this stuff will throw you off balance, and you can get real extreme on what to take, when to take it, and have it all mapped out. And so for me, I'm hoping not to get too extreme. You're probably wondering what this is. So I don't even know. I forgot what the next point is. I'll try to remember it even more. Oh, and it is important to look at how the supplementation is made. Let me see here. Let's say I get a multivitamin and mineral. I'm going to make sure I'm going to look for fillers and binders. Is it heated? Is it treated? Because if at a big grocery store, you buy just a popular multivitamin and mineral, might have some benefit, but overall it's not very healthy. Because of all the things I just mentioned. And I'm not recommending any brand per se. Nobody's paid me anything at all. I do know Thorne, Ben Greenfield's a friend of mine, and Thorne has some good vitamins. And also you can look at, do all this on your own. I'm just wanting to do a quick video to spark some interest, but look at COVID. How many people were, depleted completely, lack of vitamin D. And what vitamin D's role in health and in the immune system, lots of things to do it. So I try to not take too much. Some of the stuff is I just got for you guys because you're asking me. And some of the stuff I do take, I don't take it very often, again, because of price and cost. And the body, we don't have to flood the body in. What we need to do with the body is actually not flood a lot of things in, intermittent fasting or fasting, water fasting for a few days, calorie restriction to some degree. And I'm a fan of restricting calories when we need to because we eat too much. And now if your focus on that is your weight loss program, and again, I don't know when you'll be listening to this, but I'm going to teach on a lot of this on May 13th, 2023. It's a health expo. I'm going to teach on the top things you need to know. And with calorie restriction, that's one of those things. You have hormone levels. How's your thyroid doing, and cortisol and glucagon and insulin? Is insulin too high? And we've got 50 hormones in our body that really regulate fat loss more than just restricting certain things as well. And so that's going to play a role. And then also, I did not hit a lot of different supplements. I could have had this many supplements just for leaky gut syndrome. And, and then we'd have another whole batch for heart healthiness or inflammation. And so I'm just trying to take not the best of the best necessarily, but what I think the common person could really benefit from. I mean, with leaky gut, you're probably going to look at probiotics. I didn't think I grabbed those probiotics. And then you've got prebiotics. Prebiotics are mainly what the gut bacteria feeds on, like fiber content. And then you got symbiotics, S-Y-N, that's like synergy, combining those biotics. And then you've got, digestive enzymes that are great for gut bacteria or leaky gut. What happens with leaky gut is the gut, in the lining of the gut, there's ways for nutrients to your body to be depleted because it's getting back out into the system. The gut is leaking. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to hold everything and absorb it the right way. And then there's enzymes. Enzymes are like a catalyst to having the cell do certain things. And then those are different than vitamins. And vitamins, the B, the D, the K, that's different than minerals, sodium, potassium, and how they send electrical charges with the electrolytes. I mean, there's so much. So I just probably took my top 20 that I think the average person. I'm going to go very quickly. You need to do more research on all of these. But let me start with what I think most people ask, and that would be this one right here. Incredible protein powder, but incredibly expensive. So I put this over in the maybe used from time to time. I mean, you're talking about $69 with shipping, versus I got some of these at Costco for $35. Definitely, I wouldn't say is healthy. And when you're looking at things like this, you want to, depending if you're plant-based protein or animal protein, whey, but just make sure there's no oils, refined oils, vegetable oils, safflower, soybean, canola, and just make sure the ingredients, if you can read most of them, you understand it, do a little research. How are they flavoring it? Just sugar? Or is it, monk fruit and different things that are more healthy? So these protein powders, it depends. I take this more because of just the price, but I'd like to take that other one a lot more. And then you've got, of course, you can throw this one in there. With collagen, peptides. Collagen is so important for, many of you know collagen for the connectivity, tissue and things like that. And, people, if you listen to like the medical professionals that are more into subscribing statins, for example, than taking, red yeast rice with ubiquinol, coenzyme. That's a coenzyme Q10. What happens is when you take something like this, is it actually lowers coenzyme Q10. And so you have to take this to kind of match it. And ubiquinol is just one type. There's another, I forget the other type is ubiquinone or something, ubiquinol, but your body goes back and forth and converts it to different ones. So, but this has been shown, I mean, if you look at the studies, like to look at studies and people who are really non-biased. And I'm going to be all over the place, by the way. And so this would be great for heart health. But what is really good for heart health is eating correctly. And I'm going to throw this in there as well, niacin. Niacin is really good for the heart. So these would be a good things for somebody who says they have high LDL cholesterol. LDL is low density lipids, and low density, it's actually not, I don't call it bad cholesterol because the cholesterol is really good and really important. So if you have something in your artery, let's say inflammation in your artery, and there's something that the artery needs to be fixed, well, the LDL takes the cholesterol to the area that needs to be fixed. And the high density lipids, the LDL, the HDL will pull that back, I believe, to the liver. And so that's why LDL is usually called the good, because it gets the cholesterol out of the bloodstream. But I would ask the question, what's causing all that inflammation? The processed foods, the junk, the things like that that's causing an elevated level. But anyway, these would be good. But back to what I was saying, the medical industry will say, oh, no, this doesn't work. Take a statin drug, and that's kind of what they've been taught. So you have to do your own research. I don't believe that's a good idea necessarily, but in some cases it is. If you do your research, you understand the effects, and you've got some major things going on. You have to weigh all these things. Jesus said, "Those who are sick need a physician," And obviously you would go to a physician because you don't know anything how the body works. They would know how the body works. If you look at even back in Moses' day, or you can research what the Egyptians taught, and a lot of it's not good. Bloodletting to a lot of different things, but they would understand the body was how it was made, and actually that's where that word holistic comes from. Holistic is they would grab some dandelions or some plant-based plants that were growing out there, berries, make some contraption or not contraption, that has to do with making a thing, but they would make some things, and holistic, the plants of the earth are just incredible. And that's why I'm not into carnivore per se. Now, carnivore has some benefits. You listen to Justin Peters and his daughter and others have benefited greatly from carnivore. And again, I'll talk about this more on May 13th, but number one, it's not practical for many of us. Number two is long-term, I don't know what that's going to do without the phytochemicals of the plants. Plants are not bad. Watch these silly podcasts that plants are out to kill you because of the phytochemicals and things like that. Yeah, they have stuff in them that keeps insects away, but it's very, very good for the human body. Hello, so I would have the super greens, for definitely added to juice if you can, and back to carnivore. The low fiber content. You have, high meat diets do produce certain things in the body, and I'd be really careful of those things. So that was, I talked about the collagen, and then you have a collagen creamer, like if you want to wean off of coffee and get some decaf coffee, organic for sure, without pesticides and herbicides, fungicides, and this one has MCT oil. So that's really good. And something I have sometimes, but it's pretty expensive, is mud water. And it's a coffee replacement, cacao, lion's mane. It's got some mushrooms, healthy kind, not the kind that trip you out. And then cinnamon, turmeric, Himalayan salt, and then black tea. And it's really good coffee replacement for your mind. But this is expensive. I don't remember what this was. It's maybe $50 or so. And it depends on how long you can make it last. And then turmeric. You'll hear things like turmeric. And other things you'll hear in here. Antioxidants, you hear that word a lot, antioxidants. Antioxidants basically mean there's free radicals in your body. And the reason they're free and the radical is because they're missing an electron charge. So it's just one little electron and they're free radicals. And so they're doing damage and they're causing problems, they're knocking things over and they're damaged. They're free radicals, and they're because they only have one electron, they're grabbing things from other things that need their electrons. So what a antioxidant does is it actually gives up one of their electrons. Here you go. Now you're healthy. And now the free radical is no longer radical. And it's healthy. And so that's what antioxidants do. They give their extra electrons. And that's what, some of these things are. I don't know where they're at now. But you hear the word not antibiotic. You got to be careful of those two. But antioxidants, and that's what turmeric is, and things like that. They really jumpstart the immune system, or they act as a golly, all these terms are confusing for someone like me who already has a difficult time with words. They are antioxidants. So valerian root for some of those who want, try to get a good night's sleep. But the best thing for sleep, maybe I'll take one now and then when I'm fasting to help me get to sleep. But the best thing is to get off of electronics at an early hour and then no caffeine at all after lunch. And then if I were to take some vitamins and minerals, of course, a good multi-mineral and vitamin, and then we don't get enough D in our diet. So I would take some D and some vitamin E. And then, of course, I've got a good B complex. And B complex is all the different Bs. I think you can read them on here. I can't see. But there's different Bs. And the body, can make some of this and get it from food, but we just don't get enough of it from food anymore. And then, of course, you've heard the benefits of apple cider vinegar. You can look at all the benefits of that. And I don't think a lot of this is just hype. I think a lot of it is really good for the body. There's tests out there and reports and studies that really prove a lot of this. Amino acids, of course, are really good because they are the building block to not only losing weight, but the building block to muscle as you get older. Maybe some organ blend if you can't eat organs directly. like that guy, the Liver King, which comes to find out, obviously, he had a little help with what we call, he's not natty, they say not natural, androgenic, anabolic steroids, and he was taking that. Androgenic means male hormones, and then anabolic means growth as opposed to catabolism, catabolic, not growing, and then steroids, it's that kind of steroid. But anyway, that has nothing to do with that. So you just have to be strategic. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? I pulled this out. I haven't used it in a while, but bee pollen is so healthy, especially the right kind of bee pollen that has, it's a complete food. And John the Baptist ate, here's why I'm not fully plant-based and why I'm not fully carnivore, but John the Baptist ate locusts and wild honey. That is a great combination of nutrients. Jesus for sure ate fish, and I would guess lamb, as well as bread and nuts and things like that, as long as the bread was made the right way, healthy way. Right now with I'll get into that at the health seminar, but you got to be careful on bread. I just try to use Ezekiel bread and Ezekiel tortillas if I need something. And then, of course, Manuka honey. This has lasted a while because it's expensive. I don't even remember what this is, like $40. But there's ratings on here. The nutrient value of this is amazing, the Manuka honey. But again, we have regular honey, and sometimes I'll mix it and not use this for a little while because, again, unless you have a money tree. And that's why a lot of these guys, they crack me up. They'll say, oh, you got to buy an infrared light bed. Okay, well, I don't have 6,000 laying around for that. And you've got to get this pad that you lay on your bed that helps you stay grounded. Grounding is a popular, and there's a lot of truth to that. Your body lets off charges in the earth, the soil. It's just all biblical to me. It's a creation. Oh, that's another 6,000. And then, make sure to get your cryotherapy in. And come on, guys. That's not practical for most of us. Ghee is really good. If you want to add that to some decaf coffee, or if you have a little caffeine, add a tablespoon of ghee. And you could also add, I don't know if I add both, but maybe MTC oil. It's basically multi-chain triglycerides. And what the health benefits, and again, organic, try to get a reputable company. Basically, it's delivered quick. It's quick energy. It doesn't use a lot of, the way triglycerides are broken down, like 12 strand versus 6 strand. And what you need to know is they're broken down quickly, they're utilized quickly, and they're not really stored in the typical way that fat would be stored. And so I like MCT oil. That's really good. I even put that sometimes in my shakes. And I like beet. I like ground beets because the health benefits are incredible. So usually in maybe a drink of orange juice, I'll make the orange juice myself, because if you get orange juice at the store, it's pasteurized, and that basically kills all the enzymes. So you put something like this in your juice, a little bit of orange juice, and you got some super greens and some beets, and maybe put some MCT oil. What's good about something like this too is this slows down the absorption rate of the juice. So you've heard of a glycemic index and things like that. So this plus juice would probably raise your insulin level pretty quickly. And that's why they call it an insulin response. And as that insulin raises, well, that's not really good, because insulin tells your body to store fat. And what happens when you become insulin resistant, like a lot of us are as we get older, especially in the way our nation goes, if you're resistant to insulin, the insulin basically is not doing its job. In short, it's not getting the glucose. Put these over here. It's not getting the glucose into the cell so the cell can convert it to energy and things like that, the ATP in the cell and things like that. So what happens is you get hungry. Why am I so hungry? Why am I hungry again? I just ate. Well, probably because that glucose is not being utilized, and your body's saying, hey, give us more food, give us some more food. We need more nutrients. And so that's one good thing about like carnivore, your satiety. Did I pronounce it right? Satiety, I can spell it, I'm just not sure I can pronounce it. Being full, basically, satisfied. It comes from the word satisfied. All of that is that's one good thing about carnivore, is those types of food will satisfy a little bit more. But my approach would be carnivore with a lot of vegetables and fruit and things like that, and some nuts, and mixing it up. And then I just threw this in here, tribulus. It's more for guys who are maybe getting older. They need help with testosterone. A lot of this has been shown to elevate testosterone levels naturally, and possibly even act as a to act as a testosterone booster. And then I was just turned on to these recently. Ben Greenfield recommended them, but this is like $5 for one of these, and you can find these in Sprouts, probably Whole Foods, not sure. And that's quite a bit of money. So I don't use that too often unless maybe I'm on a bike ride. And what it is, it's pure ketones. So like a ketogenic diet, this is just pure ketones. Does not taste good. It's about 70 calories, if I remember correctly. And, if you're fasting, especially, hey, I don't want to eat till later tonight, but man, I'm just feeling down, 70 calories of ketones can really, help to boost that energy. And then of course, I love my green tea. I do use that, and then sometimes aloe vera juice, really good on gut digestion, and the benefits are just enormous for that. So anyway, I want to keep it short. It's about 20 minutes, and we could keep talking about supplements for the next, next 10 hours if we wanted to. But these, if you want to purchase some of these, and pick your, if you don't have heart issues, and Manuka honey and the valerian root, and I just want to hit a very, very wide array of different supplements here. Or this, of course, you heard me talk about earlier, but that's pretty expensive. I try to hopefully make this last, sometimes a month or so, and I'll mix it with this and these two, of course, as well. So anyway, I hope that helped on supplementation. Talk to you soon.